I haven't been on here for forever. How are you all doing? I decided to jump on here to do a live and say hello because I haven't been live on YouTube for forever. And we're just rounding up to get ready for our retreat. We have one seat left, by the way, should you want to join us, but you need to let me know ASAP. So, best way is to look under this video for the actual link or Instagram, message me on Instagram or whatever. But I'm so excited and looking forward to seeing you. So we have a spot left for anyone who wants to come. One of the girls wasn't able to come. How are you? How are you doing? I'm here in Boston and I'm here to answer your questions just to say hello. How are you doing? How are you doing? How are you keeping? Hi. It's such a lovely day. I hope you can all hear me. Vivian, how are you doing? So I'm here for some questions. Why don't you ask me some questions and I will answer them for you? Let's see. Let's see. Sweaty faces. Let me see if I can. How are you doing, my YouTube family? I've been so busy on Instagram. I really like the fast pace of it, but I do miss the better conversations we have because on YouTube we have more in-depth conversations about a lot of things. And I love having those conversations with you. It might be taking a while for me to get your questions, so bear with me. How are you doing? I was in New York this weekend in Manhattan. It's always nice to when I come here to do a lot of like travel around. Um, please get a question for me. Ask me a question. I want to talk about something. I really should come on here with an idea of what I'm going to talk about, but it was so random. And I just wanted to say hello as we get ready to go to the retreat. It's going to be amazing. I guess I'll talk about the retreat until I see some questions. So, the retreat is called She's Possible. And it's something that came to me really by the Lord, really. It was really just something I was not planning on doing. I had no intention of doing a retreat anytime in my lifetime or anytime soon. But I found that um, a lot of black swans, a lot of black swans have done a lot of work on themselves, gone to therapy, done some coaching, but they're stuck. They're stuck somewhere between doing the work and still coming out of therapy, coming out of all of this work, and you're still stuck. You can't quite get that guy. You're still attracting the same guy. You can't quite get past it. You feel better in your own body. You feel better in yourself as a woman. You feel like, I feel better. I feel more healed. I have more information because the internet is full of information, skills. Love it. I love it for every dating woman. I wish I'd had half as much information as you ladies have online. Um, but something was missing. There was an element of stuckness. And I realized that we've done an amazing job of teaching women how, strategy. We've done an amazing job. Feel free to ask me a question if you're here, because I really want to do a question and answer, but I'm talking about the retreat while I wait for everybody to ask me a question, for somebody to ask me a question. um, and I noticed that there was a stuckness, and it's something that was really kind of perplexing me. And then I realized that we have got so good at healing, we've got so good at understanding our past, but we haven't really learned how to become the woman that gets what she wants, desires, and needs. and deserves. Because to bring what we actually desire and want and deserve, we have to become her. And so it's this retreat is about she is possible. It's about becoming the woman that gets what she wants. So this retreat is not backward looking, it's forward looking, and it's about recreating your identity. And I wanted to do that without the long-windedness of coaching for months. I wanted to do it in an immersive experience where in 3 days we could accomplish what would normally be accomplished in 3 months. Because being in person, having that impartation, that in-person experience, that immersive experience actually creates profound transformation. And that's what I really want to do with my career moving forward. I really want to take women on short, powerful journeys because that is really what we need. When you are past 30 and you've been dating and you've had, you know, these long-winded kind of therapy sessions and dated a lot of guys and you're wondering why is it not working out for me, the last thing you need is to kind of go on a very long journey. What I have, what I'm really trying to create for my community moving forward is strong immersive experiences that jumpstart and really get you from stuck to start in a very profound and meaningful way. And I believe that the retreat is really going to be that for so many women. So we are going to go away and we're going to supercharge. And this is so important if you're a busy woman, if you are, a professional, if you don't always have time to, if your schedule, your life doesn't seem to fit, coaching on a weekly basis, this is fantastic to really just supercharge and change your life. So I'm really excited. I'm excited. The women that are coming are excited. It's my first retreat, and I believe one of many. I am excited to really meet you, excited to be in your physical space and company, to really share conversations, to sit by the fire at night, to eat together, to, be in the same space and coexist in a very special way. So that is that. Um, Other than that, yeah. So if you really want to come, it's this weekend. So we're kind of running out of time, and I um kind of have closed the doors on the numbers. But if you do want to come, I can perhaps get you in there, but you'll have to comment retreat in the comments or something after this live, or look for the link or whatever. I'm sure there'll be a way that you can contact and get on the retreat. And if you are in the USA, I'm sure it's just a short flight to Dallas and then, drive to Oklahoma. But yeah, it's very exciting. How are you doing though? Can somebody talk to me? Talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. Tell me, what questions do you have? What do you want to ask? What are your needs right now for dating? What are your struggles? What can I do? How can I serve you? I'm sitting in, isn't it lovely out here? It's so pretty. So, for those of you who are new, or who kind of know, because I think I spend more time on Instagram, but I have been traveling for over a year now. So people keep saying, "Oh, Chengi, I want to come and see you in London." I'm like, "You can come to London, but seeing me might not actually happen." And I will be traveling until further notice. So it's really shifted. I was talking to a client of mine, and he was like, "Good Lord, this journey you're on, I can feel the difference." Because I coached with him about 2 years ago. He was like, "I feel the difference in your coaching." And that's because I've just accumulated so much wisdom. And I've I have become her. I've become sorry, that was a call. Observing cultures and living amongst different people has a way of opening up your world in a way you could never imagine. And I feel that we all need to uh, get up and out of life as we know it and see the world, go and live in different cultures and do things alone. Stop waiting for somebody to go on holiday with you or we're traveling with you. Just pack your bags and travel. Been to Europe, and I'm still on a journey. And for me, it wasn't really about going from city to city, country to country, but really living amongst people, really studying people. So I will kind of live in a city for a month, and I will observe and I will watch and I will make friends. And they speak a different language from me, but we become friends. And you realize very quickly that language is hardly the way that we communicate as humans. And you learn about human beings and their kindness and their nature, you know, uh, and you overcome so many fears. And when you become the woman who's not afraid, when she becomes possible, when you become the next iteration of you, it's just amazing. It's amazing and it's something that I was afraid to do. I think for a long time I was waiting for somebody to do it with. Uh, and to be honest, I was saying to my niece the other day that there we go, a question finally, finally. Um, I was just saying to my niece the other day how um, scared I was, and I didn't even realize I was a scaredy cat. But now I'm bold and good to go, and I want to impart all that goodness to you at the retreat. Okay, so let's see what do we have here? How do you stay positive with the in-depth understanding of male nature? It's ruthless out here. You know, that's such a good question, and here's what I'm going to say. Understanding each other, the light and the dark of of each other. There's a darkness in womanhood that men find difficult to accept, and there's a darkness in manhood that we as women find difficult to accept. But it's really our ability to accept. Love is radical acceptance. When you say I love somebody, what you're really saying is I radically accept this person. What we were sold by Hollywood, or we were sold by the teenage books and the little whatever we read and little fantasies and romances that were sold to us is love is this beautiful, amazing feeling when you just can't live without each other, and it's just so amazing. And you can only see what makes that person special, what makes that person fit with you, what makes that person right for you. What we were not taught that we are learning in our generation, that I definitely believe is going to change the game for generations to come. What I am learning is that real, true love is a radical acceptance of the darkness in somebody. If I can love myself, and it's what I say to my clients, can you love yourself as you are, warts and all? I was talking to the client, a male client of mine the other day, and he was stuck. And we worked it out that he was stuck because he just was refusing to accept that there was part of him that was a bit of a bastard, that there was a part of him that was selfish, that there was a part of him that people were rightly calling selfish. And could he could he accept himself fully? Or was he going to destroy himself trying to prove that he's not what he is in his darkness? And when he was able to accept that, yeah, I can be a bit of a jerk. I am a jerk. And in this instance, I have to be a jerk in order to move this part of my life forward. He was stuck trying to fulfill an identity that he could accept about himself. So I always say, if you're going to accept any human for who they are, fully, totally, completely, darkness, warts and all, can you even accept yourself? Because that's where it starts. Can you accept that you are not this amazing girl that any man would be lucky to have, that you are also hard to live with, that you are also demanding, that you are also difficult, that you also have unconscious behaviors that make you hard to live with, that you have unconscious beliefs and conditioning that makes you difficult and makes you you know, not so perfect for somebody to take on. Can you accept that about yourself? Because I think when we say, oh, men out there, they're really like bad, they're really terrible. It's under the assumption that you're the better human, that you are the better version of humanity, that you are just so together. And it's not about being hard on yourself. It's about understanding and doing that shadow work, right? That, okay, what is the dark side of me? What are the parts of me that make it difficult to be lovable to myself? What parts am I denying about myself? What parts do I not want to look at about myself? And can I still look at those parts of me honestly with intent? What if everything people say about me is true? What if they say, Chengi, you're a bitch, and I really am? Can I love Chengi, the one I have in my head, the one that's kind and warm and thoughtful and caring? Can I accept the bitch in Chengi to the extent that I can accept the good kind? Because unless I can accept myself completely and wholly, I will never accept when a man when the true nature of a man comes out. I will never accept his sexuality. I will never accept how it works. I will never accept his priorities. I'll never accept his nature, because the truth is I don't even accept me, right? So we find it hard to accept the reality of the people around us, and we find it hard to accept that our mothers are actually human beings with emotions and sexuality and desires and hopes. They just suppose we judge them on the basis of being my mother or my father. But can we accept the woman that is the mother? Can we accept that our mothers are women, our fathers are men, and they have things and problems? When you can radically accept yourself wholly and completely, it makes it easier to accept the reality of the nature of other people. And this is where we are losing the plot. This is where we are not winning. And that's why it's so difficult for us to still love each other, because a lot of what we called love was the preconditioning, was this thing that as long as you meet my romantic ideal, I we need to get to a place where everything about a man is beautiful, but you just know how to position yourself to not be on the losing end, to not be the loser, to not be the one that ends up paying the big price. And well done for learning and understanding men. I think for a long time, women haven't bothered with that. I think women, unlike men learn very, very early at a very young age to study women, to study the nature of women, because as pursuers, they have to really understand what they're pursuing. But us as women, we were never taught how to study and understand the true nature of men, right? So we're kind of learning quite late in the day, um, how to really kind of be with men, and that is difficult. It's difficult for us. We're really a transitional generation. Let me put my glasses on because the breeze is killing my eyes. Okay, that's better. We're that transitional generation. Apologies. I don't like to do videos with my sunglasses on, but it's so windy and my eyes are like not having a good time with it. I'm glad that helped. Jala Ford says, "Hi, I haven't seen a live stream for ages. Good to see you." I know, I need to do better. YouTube, YouTube has changed a lot since I started here. When I started on YouTube, I don't know, 15 years ago, I don't know. Um, it was really just a space for normal people, average girls like me, to come, to come online and just make YouTube friends and talk about, real life. Hey, Aurora. Hi, Scarlet Threads. It was such a real girl place. And, we actually went on YouTube because we wanted to know real people. And in the last few years, it's kind of been overtaken by celebrities. And, you know, um, they've kind of come in with the big money, the big productions and podcasts. Celebrities have come in with their big money and their expertise and all of the stuff, and they've flooded the YouTube space. leaving, kind of pushing. It's a little bit like the big department store coming into the little mom and pop shop or the little corner store, and so a lot of us smaller creators, or those of us who are smaller in the space, who had to kind of really graft our way into the homes or the lives of people. On YouTube doesn't prioritize us anymore. So for instance, I could come on live and I'd have hundreds of people on a live by now. I've got about 16 as we're speaking, and I value every last one of you. I'm so grateful. But it is a bit of a shocker, when you're used to kind of going live and thousands of people come on and you share and you have multiple conversations. It was so much more fun. And even, when you post a video now, one of my videos would have like 1,000 views in the first, hour. Now it takes weeks and months sometimes to get that many views. So it's really changed for a lot of us. So, but Instagram is a little bit more rewarding. Instagram, the way it's set up, is way more rewarding in that, uh, the speed of it, and it doesn't really, Instagram isn't high production. So even if you are like a celebrity or whatever, it's really about your consistency. It's about your messaging. So it's easier to reach the people that we're called to reach, because when you have an assignment and you got to reach 1 billion women, you want to be as effective as possible. So it's sad, because YouTube is my little love story. I love YouTube so much. I love my YouTube followers, because I know for a fact that people who follow me on YouTube are really deep thinkers. They're really women who are really committed to growth. Like, YouTube has got my, like, YouTube is the place where my ugh, black swans live. But unfortunately, they don't get the they don't get the reach. So, they don't get to see me. They don't get to see me. So, sadly, I'm spending more time on Instagram, but it does make me very, very, very sad. Any more questions from anyone? Or are you done with me? Yeah, it's really sad, but I my don't tell anyone on Instagram, but my YouTube followers are my best and my favorite followers. Um, when I sort of have calls with you, or my coaches have calls with you, there's a vast difference, because you're really, really tuned into growth. You're really tuned into understanding, and if you're on both platforms, then you're a winner. Okay, but I do miss YouTube, and I will try to give you a little bit more love. Tay, yeah, Tay. Hi, hi. It is a while. Yes. What I might do is actually come on with an actual topic that I want to discuss, and maybe we can do a live once a month, um, and keep in touch that way. But do follow me on Instagram, because I spend more time on there. And I'm also on TikTok. It's not my favorite platform, but I think it's just one of those things where you have to spread yourself out a little bit thin. But um, yeah, on those platforms, you will definitely see me. Veronica, I haven't watched you since you were Chengi's World. Oh my goodness, where have you been? We were your world. You were. Oh my, I remember Chengi's World. Oh my goodness, Chengi's World. It's still there. There's an actual Instagram uh platform called Chengi's World. You should go there, because that's where I kind of share more personalized stories. So follow me on Chengi's World on Instagram. And it's so funny, because I've tried to move away from Chengi's World, but I think it will always be Chengi's World, because you will always be my world, right? It was Chengi's World, and in there were my black swans. Oh, thank you for reminding me of that. I really, really loved my Chengi's World days. But then those also the days when YouTube was a lot simpler, and YouTube really, really respected and honored creators like myself and experts like myself, like before it kind of got super 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 commercial. But I'm not complaining. I enjoy the new YouTube. I enjoy watching the really really long form content. I enjoy the new YouTube. It's just not something that has worked out in our favor. Um, and it's the production costs for YouTube now are insane. It used to be okay to just film on your phone. Now you have to hire studios and pay an insane amount of money. So on Instagram, it's Chengi's World for more of my personal brand. Like I think on there I've got like 25 stories about my story, my past, all the stuff, all the things. And Black Swan relationships is where you get the relationship stuff, all the good stuff is on Black Swan relationships. So you might want to follow me on both. Black Swan, and I think in the description you should be able to find my handles as well. I actually have a question if you don't mind. Yes, questions, questions. It's so good to see you, my loves. I don't like TikTok either, Veronica. I know, I love long form content. I used to love making it because I could really, really explain to you girls. And so many of you were really like taking my videos and really just getting married and changing your love lives because I was really able to break down every point, explain it to you, share with you examples, talk about, experiences. I love that kind of sitting. YouTube used to give me that feeling of sitting with the girls and giving you game and explaining it in depth. But now that level of production, giving the level of production of editing that kind of thing, because you've got to think about the back end, high level productions, then you don't get the reach it's just so disheartening. So, unfortunately we all have to pivot but I hope for a day where maybe there'll be another algorithm change and they can start thinking about people like you who really, really want to learn real things and not just kind of get 5 points to whatever. Yeah. So Scarlett, where's your question? It might just be my internet slow, not moving fast enough. And my behind might have to go because I think I've got a meeting at 1 p.m. with somebody. But yeah, it's been interesting. It's been an interesting pivot. Do I advise men too? I do. I have male clients. Um, my assignment is to women. My calling is to women. But what has happened is that when I work with a client, sometimes they want to recommend their brother or whatever. So I will work with men, but usually by recommendation only. They can apply to work with me on my website, um, but it's usually by recommendation only because it makes my life so much easier to do it that way. Um, but yeah, I do. I say what Scarlett says. I'm dating this man and he has a job and an apartment, but I don't know how to tell if he's ready to take care of me as well. We have talked about him moving to my state, just having trouble trusting him financially. How long have you guys been seeing each other? Let's see. Oh, 2 years. Have you that's Scarlett, let me ask you a question. Are you having a hard time trusting him financially, or are you having a hard time accepting what you are seeing financially? I want you to see my eyes. Are you having a hard time accepting what is before you, or are you really having a hard time trusting him? Because in 2 years, you've already seen what he's capable of. In 2 years, you already know what he provides, and it's not going to get better. So, if you are questioning his ability to provide after 2 years, it's because you're trying to keep the relationship because obviously feelings are involved, but there's a part of you that's refusing to see what's before you. Now, listen, I this is why I love YouTube. This is why I love you. This is why I love YouTube. I can be real. I can be proper real with you. There's a thing going around. There's an air, a wind, a spirit, a thing going around on the internet, feeding women this idea that they can all be with these high value provider men that will just take care of them financially. I hate to break it to you. He wants to make more, but he's moving slow. He's not moving slowly, darling. He's making the amount of money he wants to make. He's making the amount of money he wants to make. Listen, some men do not have the ambition, but they have an appetite for a certain caliber of woman, but they don't have the ambition for her. There is no moving slow. Have you ever been around a man with ambition? If you've ever dated a man with ambition, who's in his masculine energy and has ambition, trust and believe, there's no moving slow. What we have a problem as women that we're always thinking a man can do better or over time how you found him, how you found him is how he's gonna be. Men don't grow for women. He doesn't have the ambition. The fact that he's willing to move to your state already tells me that he's more in his feminine energy. The provider doesn't move to the woman, okay? The woman, the whoever's the provider is the one that stays put because that's where the provision at. That's how they make their money. That's how they make moves. If a man is willing to move to you, he's trying to secure himself financially. So you are obviously who he perceives to be the provider. And men will play this game with you until they put a ring on your finger, then they sit down and tell you they're going to pursue a business they never pursued before. I have so many women that I know who call me who are trapped in these marriages where he presented one thing. He was never doing it. She married him because she got desperate. She spent too many years with him. And now she's a breadwinner while he pursues a dream. He won't work a job. He won't do anything. And she's the wicked one for not understanding that it takes a while. Don't get played. Whoever the provider is where the one who is going to be provided for moves to. And if he's moving to you because where you live, your state has more opportunities, he should have done that independent of you a long time ago. No, darling. It doesn't matter if he's moving in with you or you're moving in with him. I don't know your situation. You're gonna have to get on a call with me or one of my coaches to really get into it because it's a free complimentary call for the first call that you have with us. So I would have to go into the details. Principally, it's just it looks like a rat, smells like a rat, is a rat. However, where I was going right before I got taken off a tangent, you have to forgive me. I'm premenopausal, girls. You know, my brain does the same thing. But anyway, we can blame anything on premenopause these days. Anyway, where I was going with it was If there are more virtues and values to this man that allow you to be in your feminine, that make you feel safe as a woman, feel loved, feel secure, right? If you, when you're around him, you experience peace, your nervous system is at ease, you feel alive, you're glowing, and and it's not an addiction to him or an unhealthy attachment, but a genuine connection that makes you thrive as a woman. And let's say he can't provide a big house, but he can provide an apartment that is nice, and he pays for all the bills and pays for, you know, and you know he can comfortably do that. I don't see anything wrong with that. I think we need to not expect too much too soon. It's really, provider isn't about providing you with the life of your dreams right away. It's about providing you with shelter, with food, without the worry of bills and having to do all of that stuff. Even if he can provide it in a beautiful apartment where you guys can be happy and you can thrive and you don't have to wake up in the morning thinking about your bills, that's a good thing, right? So you have to balance both out, because sometimes as women we're like, oh, well, if he can't provide the life of my dreams, then should I be paying? Can he provide at the level that you have become accustomed? Can he provide comfortably in a life where you could be quite comfortable, even if it's not the final dream for you as a couple? That's where we need to figure that out. But if you are asking this question, then I suspect that you don't feel secure. And listen, this is not, I am not a one of these coaches that's like, go get a rich man, choosing for his money or whatever. It's ridiculous. But I am very practical, and I know what I'm talking about. If a man cannot make you feel financially secure, trust and believe your nervous system is going to be out of whack, it's going to be dysregulated, and you're not going to show up for him in the beautiful feminine way that he would want. It's just not going to work. Well, I understand that you want to be with your family. There's nothing wrong with that. I will never tell you what not to do. I can only explain to you what's what, and you're gonna have to look it in the eyes and call the thing a thing. If a man who is a provider is moving, it means he is not established to for a woman because she wants to be close to a family. That's really sweet. If he is a man who's an entrepreneur and can make money from anywhere in the world, right? But if he has a job, which I believe you said, go away, please. If he has a job, if he has a job, um, and he is leaving that job to move to your state so you can be with your family, honey, he doesn't have anything worth it's just not masculine. It's not masculine energy. He should have been in a position where he can provide where he is in such a way that you start a family with him. Because the idea, ladies and or gentlemen, is not to stay close to our family, but to create families of our own. If I need to be close to my family and the whole world must move for me to be near my family and nothing can move unless I'm near my family, then I genuinely have to check myself. Am I serious about creating a family? Because we are here to create families. We get into relationships to create families where you are the mother, there's the father, there's the family, there's this family, right? That is connected to the bigger family. You belong to your mother and father's family. You are part of your mother and father's family. You are supposed to leave and create your own family where it will thrive, not where you will just feel so, oh my God, I just want to be that close to my cousins. Where your family will thrive. And if you choose a provider who is not near your family and he can provide adequately and powerfully where he's at, that's where you move to, or you find a provider who is local to you, right? Life is not hard if we are prepared to accept the realities of it. Life is only hard when we refuse to accept what's real. If you can, similar to the first question, can you look at life with its dark and its light and choose it anyway? Can you realize that life won't give you everything at once? You can have it all, but not at once. And when we fight for it all at once, we lose it all. She who wants it all ends up with nothing. Okay. She who wants it all ends up with nothing. You have to, in each season of your life, figure out what are my priorities for this season of my life? What do I want in this season of my life? Like I said earlier, I'm traveling the world. I get to travel, but I also get to not have a home. I can't, I'm a nomad. I have no set place because I've decided to do this nomadic journey and find my forever home. So sometimes it's sad that I don't have this place that I can be like, oh, I'm just gonna go home now. There is no home. Everywhere's home. I have to make home wherever I go. So there's a very dark side to my nomadic journey. And the sooner I was able to accept that this is the decision I've made, to find my forever home by traveling the world and seeing where my soul feels at home, I also had to realize, okay, that also means unlike other people, I don't have a home. You've got to, but if I tried to get both, if I was like, no, I'm gonna get both, I want both, then I am going to bankrupt myself, right? Trying to maintain a home and trying to travel, it's just not gonna work. So you've got to figure out what you want in your time of life. What is a priority right now, right? Because you're gonna end up with nothing. If you keep, I want this and this and this and this and this and this and this, I want it all, you will end up with nothing. And that's how so many women and men have ended up with nothing. You got to choose. And I have this, and with us as women as well, I find men are more willing to accept what they cannot have because the world is very different to men. It's very hard on them very early. It's very harsh very early. Men don't have protectors other than their parents, right? I don't have a husband, darling. She's asking, am I traveling with my husband? I don't have a husband. You got your own channel? How exciting. Okay, do you think women these days have wrong priorities in dating? Yes. 100%. 100%. 100%. I had a guy ask me once, he said, do you think women's standards are too high? And I said to him, no, I think women's standards are completely off. Completely off. We don't have high enough standards for how men should treat us. We don't. Yes, Veronica says, I remember you like getting married, but I guess things had changed. Yes, I canceled that engagement. That was probably what, 4 years ago? Yeah, 4 years ago. 4 years ago, I was engaged, for those who don't know, and then I canceled that engagement. So still very single. Um, and really loving it, by the way. Really content. But yeah, we don't ask, we don't prioritize how a man treats us. We have taught men that as long as they can flush some cash before us, that's enough. It's not enough. We don't ask men. That's why we have so many men as players. I wonder what would happen if women were like, unless you are kind, I don't want to know. Unless you are generous, I don't want to know. Unless you are thoughtful, I don't want to know. Unless you're emotionally available, I don't want to know. If women had those as their standards, let me tell you something, the quality of relationships, because if a man is all of these things, if he's kind, if he's thoughtful, if he's generous, if he's masculine, if he can take care of your heart and take care of you as a woman, he is going to be motivated to take care of you financially. He is going to be motivated to give you the life of your dreams. But when we're out here judging men by the figures that they make, we are losing the plot, because what we are creating is men who feel despondent because, well, I'm never going to make that kind of money. So they don't even work on their character, on their wounds. And the men who have money thinking that because I can't tell you how many times I've traveled and some guy has come up to me and flashed his cash in front of me. I remember this one guy said to me, who was really good looking. He said, he kind of stopped me because I walk around a lot and I get stopped quite a bit when I travel or just in general. Um, and he said, "Oh, what's your bank account?" I was horrified. That's what he said. It's like, hey, what's your bank account? And I thought, oh my God, this is how bad things have gotten. I just looked at him like he was crazy. And he was like, oh, sorry. And I thought, wow, this is what we're doing to men. No manners, no gentlemanly behavior, nothing. We have told men if they have money, they're number one. And I'm saying, I want you to treat me right, because when I get phone calls, I don't get phone calls. I don't get on calls. My coaches don't get on calls because men are just behaving so beautifully, or because, oh, he gives me so much money, I'm so happy. I speak to women who are married to millionaires, billionaires. They're miserable. Yeah, that's what he said. He said, "What's your bank account?" You canceled your engagement to Veronica. He flashed gifts and treated me terribly in private. Yeah. We need to choose better treatment. Our standards for a man, your top five priorities and core needs should always be character based. Always character based. You want a man who's hardworking with ambition, not a man with money. Because some of these men, the things they're doing to get money, the things they're doing to get money, you want a man who's hardworking and ambitious. That's a character trait. That's somebody you can go places with. You want a man who's kind and thoughtful, because that's what you wake up with every day. When you wake up every day, you don't wake up to the bang. I don't know how to explain this to you, ladies. If women actually, we ask the wrong things. We have high standards in the wrong places. We don't have high standards in the right places. And that's why relationships are so messy and dating is so rubbish. Yeah, he asked me about my bank account, believe it or not. Do you ever have people ask you how come you teach relationships, but you are not married? I believe in God's timing. Oh yeah, all the time. All the time. Um, I get asked that all the time. But the Bible says, by their fruit you shall know them. You don't know me by my outcomes. You know me by the fruit, the amount of people who get married through my programs, who find love through my programs, the copious amounts of brides that make up the Black Swan Relationship Academy, the relationships, the marriages that have been fixed, the women that are getting divorced in a healthy way from toxic, horrible marriages that are violent. I have my fruit to speak for me. I don't need to be married, because marriage is not for everybody. And I have every right to stay single. It's my right to stay single. I don't want to be forced into a relationship or into a marriage if I'm not in the season of life where I want to do that or be that. So yes, it used to really affect me a lot when I was a younger, when I was starting off, and maybe somewhere in the middle, which is what got me engaged in the first place, because I was like, oh, let me just shut these critics up and you just marry this guy. And that was a really harsh lesson, and I'll never do it again. It's if it's not right, it's not right, and if I'm not ready, I'm not ready. And if people want a married relationship expert, there are plenty of those. But the people that work with me, they get the results they want, and that's what matters. I met someone amazing. He's established in France. In time, I may have to move there. This is helpful to me. I'm so afraid because I've never depended on anyone. I'll have to move. Well, it's scary, but I wouldn't think of it as dependence. Okay, I think of it as interdependence. I live in the USA. I've recently studied your videos, but I just want to join your academy. You're welcome to do that. You should join. In the description on any of my videos, you will see the House of Swans, but I would probably just book a complimentary call. Um, if you go to the description, you'll see booking a complimentary call, and then we can give you a roadmap as to how you can join the academy or what best way to. But I wouldn't think of it as depending on a man. We have to realize that he also depends on you. There's an interdependentness. If he wants you to move in with him, it's because there are things that you are bringing to him that are non-tangibles. We have to understand that feminine energy is dark energy. And when I say dark, it means what we bring to the table is not tangible, it's not seen, it's not visible. It is an experience. It is valuable but invisible. It's not apparent. Masculine energy is light. Everything the masculine does can be counted, seen, touched, felt, right? On a level, because the masculine is outward and the feminine is inward. So just because he is providing and taking care of you and providing safety doesn't mean that you're now his dependent. He's also dependent on you. So you have an interdependence. There's something clearly you couldn't find in France that he had to export to you and bring you to France because there's something you have that he's going to be depending on, right? So you just need a shift of perspective on that. Thank you. If a guy shows signs of being passive in the beginning of dating, wants you to text first, wants you to visit him, should you end it immediately, or is he just stunted by today's male dating advice? It doesn't matter what it is, because even if he's taking male dating advice, he's still acting in his feminine, and he's still going to expect you to provide, protect, and cherish. So any man that moves in that way, just run away quickly, go away. Don't even give him a second chance. If he wants you, he must pursue you. End of story. Because a man in his masculine will pursue you, or he's just not that into you. When a man makes a woman work, he's not that into her. So you have to cost him emotionally, spiritually less. Um, you just have to cost him less effort, less investment, less time. So when you see a man wanting you to do the heavy lifting, he hasn't chosen you. You're not the one he wants. You're somebody who potentially can be a placeholder. How do you feel about waiting for marriage before moving in together? I think it's the most high value way to move. Um, I'm not judgy about it because I am an expert that is Christian. I'm not a Christian expert. And the difference is, um, I'm an expert. I work with people who are not saved, who are, saved, not saved, doesn't matter. As long as you need wisdom for relationships to grow and get one, fine, you can come to me. And I am a Christian, right? So I I I'm an expert that is a Christian rather than a Christian relationship expert, as in I only help Christian people find love. That's not me. So I don't bring to bear the morality of my faith. That is my personal faith. And if we share it, great. If we don't, I can only give you the best wisdom for where you are and the choices that you're making at the time. For me, Christian or not, the highest value thing to do is move in after marriage. Um, the psychology of it is better, the setup is better, etc., etc., etc. However, I do have couples who moved in with each other when they were engaged, but I will say do not move in with a man without a ring. That's for me, it's a non-negotiable. If you are high value, if you are dating high value, if you're a feminine woman, if you don't have a ring, you're not gonna move in. End of story. Yeah. So yeah, I wouldn't do it without a ring and a wedding date. Never do it. Because that's how women end up getting into these 5-year, 6-year dating experiences that they're now having to kind of sit on his throat to get a ring, and then the whole thing just gets really ugly. So no, that's my advice anyway. I'm actually surprised that I've been here so long. I thought I would just pop on and leave. Thank you. I've tried to explain it and he was understanding, but why do I have to teach him? It felt weird to me. Yeah. I would love a world, and I know I'm gonna have it one day, but I would love a world where women just saw the signs and kept it moving. Because what women don't understand is that men adapt to women, not the other way around. When women started giving away free sex, men adapted and like, woohoo, yes. If women are like, no, I need effort, I need investment before I even give you any real emotional investment, men will adapt. Every behavior you're seeing in women women right now, in men right now, women have created that. We have allowed it. We have behaved in such a way that men know they can get away with it. But the moment this is not a possibility and men cannot get away with it, trust and believe they will adapt. Men will always adapt to female behavior. So we all need to rise up and say no to foolishness. We don't have to argue, we don't have to raise our voice, we don't have to fuss, we don't have to fight. If you follow me, you know how to be feminine and how to set your boundaries. We don't need any of the theatrics and the drama. You're just unavailable, access denied, end of story. Come better, do better, sir. And guess what? 95% of the time, men will do better. I was helping my niece date, and this guy was like, "Oh, let's have a coffee." She just didn't respond to him. I'll let you know when I'm available. I'm not available because she wanted to go for dinner. I was like, whenever he offers you something you don't want, you're unavailable. In fact, don't even respond. Guess what? That same guy, after 6 months of offering her coffees, and realizing he wasn't getting him anywhere, he invited her out to dinner. He was met with a wonderful reception. It was wonderful. They had dinner. She had a wonderful time. She was in her feminine. Then he tried to get her back to coffee. Again, she did not respond. After a while, not only was he taking her out to dinner, but he was giving her money, right? The same guy who wanted to lowball her, right? It's not about the money, it's how she wants to be treated. My niece has enough money, but it's how she wants to be treated. When women just don't give air, don't give oxygen, don't give your time, your attention, your emotions, anything, anger, upset, anything, nothing. You even your anger is expensive. You giving away too much anger, too much annoyance. Nothing. Give away nothing. Unless a man makes effort and investment, you do that, your sisters do that, your friends do that, enough women do that, and you'll see male behavior will change. Just don't tolerate it, just don't entertain it. Thank you, Charisse. Oh, thank you. Cherie says, I'm a beautiful soul inside and out. I'm a whole woman. God bless me. Thank you. That is the most beautiful thing and the perfect way for me to say goodbye because I need to go now. But it was such a pleasure spending time with you. And I know some of you will watch the replay, and such a pleasure. And hopefully, um, you know, if you want to come to the retreat, do let me know. Before I finalize everything by the end of the day. But just let me know and maybe we can get you in there. But otherwise, book a free call. Just come and help on one of the videos. But to be honest, I would go to Instagram, go to my DMs and comment help, and you'll get the link to have a call with me. or one of my coaches. And then hopefully we can touch base and we can really help you in a way that is meaningful. But I love you all to bits and pieces. And take care of yourselves. Love you a lot. Mm. Now, where do we end this? There we go.